Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. All these videos they get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports. And yeah, I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the slate. People talk strategy here. You can ask me questions. It's just a really, really great community to be a part of. And you can see here, I answer all of you guys before lock, after lock, whatever you guys need. I am available for you. That's the whole point, right? Great community over there. That'll be linked down below in the comments. And then this is my Twitter if you ever need to get a hold of me privately. That's how you can get a hold of me. All right, so and in the Reddit post will be my Discord where I've player pools for cash and GPPs, cores for cash and GPPs. I do night slate videos and cores, showdown videos and cores, pretty much everything you can think of. My NFL video I already posted, not on Discord but publicly for you guys, is up as well on the Reddit. So all that stuff will be linked down below in the comments. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about my lineups today. So yesterday, I didn't show you guys my lineup because I wasn't sweating it, but I ended the day plus 60 overall, and today it's going to be a good day. The lineup that I went with today was Tyus Jones, Desmond Bain, um, Luka Doncic, Miles Turner, Nikola Vucevic, who else? Who else? Who else? Obi Toppin. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I forget who else. Who am I forget? Evan Mobley. I forget the last spot, but should be an easy cash today. So we're starting off the NBA season pretty strongly. Um, yeah, let's get into this two-game slate. But before we do that, you can skip over this part, but I have to get this out of my system. What the fuck was this Cavs game? Excuse my French. What was this? What in tarnation happened in this game? Evan Mobley, one of the best plays on the slate. If you faded Evan Mobley today, you owe me money. You owe me money. You owe me money. Just unbelievable stuff I saw from Evan Mobley. And let's go to the Nets side of this game. What did Cam Thomas did? 36 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds with the team fully healthy. I know he's a chucker. I know he can score like that, but come on, man. And that's not even it. This game gets even crazier. Let's talk about the let's talk about Max Strus going for 27, 12, and 2. And that's not all. I believe that accumulated and he ended with 60 fantasy points. Do you guys remember all those times in the playoffs when we were fading Caleb Martin and we were jamming Max Strus at low ownership? And he would go for like 5 fantasy points, or he would just get benched. Look what he did tonight, and look, the NBA is trolling us with this picture. They legit got Cam Thomas and Max Strus on the highlights. This game was just incredible. Just I don't even know what to say. I really don't. But now that we got that out of the way, because I had to talk to someone about that, I really did. But let's go over the slate. All right, this will be a quick one. Only 2 games. So James Harden, he made it back to the facility, but he will not be traveling with the team to Milwaukee. So starting lineup for these Sixers going to be Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, and then I assume it'll be DeAnthony Melton. I think that makes the most sense. So, and then you're probably going to see Patrick Beverley off the bench. You're going to see Paul Reed off the bench. You're going to see Kelly Oubre off the bench, and you're probably going to see some dusty Danny Green off the bench, maybe some Springer as well. But it'll mainly be like an 8-man rotation. So Joel Embiid at the top, I think he looks like a good spend up. I mean, guy that can stuff his stat sheet, get defensive stats, good defender. I'm expecting low to mid 30s minutes. Now, it's not the best spot. This game definitely, pace wise, matchup wise, definitely looks a bit more unappealing compared to the Phoenix and Lakers game we'll get to in a minute. I'm really high on Phoenix, as everyone else will be, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, I think he's a good spend up. Now, I do give to the edge, and I got some responses back. You guys liked me going who I'd rather play over who, so we'll be doing that again. If you don't like me doing this, just let me know in the comments, and I'll stop it if enough people think it just drags out the video. So personally for me, I'd rather play Giannis over Joel Embiid straight up, and I like the price point on Kevin Durant with no Booker and no Beal. Point per dollar, I'd rather play Kevin Durant over both of them point per dollar. Straight up, if I'd rank them straight up, Giannis, KD and Embiid's actually kind of close with KD with the team to himself, but Giannis, Embiid, KD. Point per dollar for me, it's KD, Giannis, Embiid. But Embiid's a good sped up. He'll probably be the lowest owned of the sped ups there outside of Damian Lillard, right? So I like Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, I still like quite a bit, even at 7.5K. But no James Harden, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. Last season with Harden on the court, his floor was pretty low because he wasn't going to do a ton of the peripheral stats. But I'm expecting him to handle the ball a decent amount tomorrow. So his floor goes up, his ceiling goes up. He's super aggressive when he's on the court. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. Even when he's shooting bad, he's still going to chuck. That's the good thing with Tyrese Maxey, a super explosive player as well. So even at this price point, if people are scared to click on him at this price point, I mean, good on them, because it doesn't scare me at all. I still think he's a really solid play at that price. Tobias Harris at 6'6", I think is just, I'm indifferent on. I think he's priced about right. Solid rebounder, does have double-double upside. I'm expecting pretty big minutes from him, 35 plus ish. So I think he's just fine. I'm like okay if I'd land on him as like a last piece in type deal, but I'm not going to go out of my way to prioritize him. I think in this price range, like out of like Tobias Harris, I'd rather play Nurkic over him. I'd rather go down to Reeves. I'd rather go down to D'Lo, right? So Tobias not too appealing to me, but fine. It's like a last piece in. Kelly Oubre. So I really was hoping that they had his price point below 5K because I would have liked him quite a bit off the bench. But at 5'7", he is a bit overpriced for my liking. Now the good thing with Oubre is though he is going to be a high usage player off the bench, and he is going to chuck when he's out there. So I'm expecting him to get good run as well. So he still does have a ceiling. I just think 5'7" is just tough for me to prioritize or get to. I really wished he was going to be cheaper. And then D'Anthony Melton at 5'3", I think is just super safe. He was phenomenal in the preseason. I'm expecting good run for him. He'll have the ball in his hand some as well. He also will chuck when he's out there, so I do like me some Melton. And then rounding out the bench, Paul Reed will get the backup 5. He's a good point per minute guy. He'll probably get 12-ish minutes. He's playable in a large field setting. I think there is a chance he could gain minutes and play some at the 4 as well. Because the Bucks are a bigger team. I don't think that's necessarily out of the realm of possibilities. I think it's unlikely. I think he'll most likely just get the backup 5, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did get some 4 run as well. PJ Tucker, I'm not going to play PJ Tucker. Pat Bev, no thank you. And then Dusty Danny Green. I'm not even sure how much he plays, if at all. Same with Springer, so you can't really go to those guys personally. On to the Bucks. So I think Giannis stands out as a really good spend up. I don't think I have to explain why. He's a good defender, good defensive stats, good rebounder, amazing scorer, right? He looks great. I have a tough time paying this price for Dame. Playing alongside Giannis, his usage is going to take a pretty big hit. So Dame kind of tough to get there. Chris Middleton is going to be back. They said that they were going to ramp up his minutes, but he still will be on a limit. So really hard to go to Chris Middleton at that price point. Brook Lopez at 6K in a tough spot against Embiid. It's fine. Kind of like Tobias Harris. If I land on him, I'm just like, fine, whatever. But let's look at prices in this range. Like I said, I'd rather play Nurkic over Lopez. I'd rather play Reeves. Rather play D'Lo. Rather go up to Tyrese Maxey. I think I'd rather play Tobias Harris over Brook. So kind of get the point there. Bobby Portis, he'll come off the bench. Probably plays high teens to low 20s minutes. He's playable. Malik Beasley will start. He's a really low floor because if he's not hitting his shots, he's just not going to do anything else. But playing alongside Giannis and Dame, he will probably have a lot of opportunities to make shots and shoot shots. So he still does have a ceiling. I think he's priced right though. And then you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see Payne off the bench. You're going to see some Connaughton. You're going to see some Crowder. Maybe you'll see some Beauchamp. If I were to take a shot on one, it probably would be Cam Payne, but I'm not too excited about any of these guys because we have a ton of value in this Phoenix game that we'll go over Phoenix last, actually. It's clearly the best team to target on this slate. So, Anthony Davis at 8-8. LeBron James at 8-7. So looking at the minutes for these guys, you saw LeBron only play 29. You saw Anthony Davis play 34. So once again, I'm just going to prefer Anthony Davis to LeBron James. It's not close to me. Anthony Davis is the better producer. They're at a similar price point. So just give me AD over LeBron all day long. As far as, spend ups go in this, AD LeBron range, I'd still play Kevin Durant over both of them with the team to himself. And then I like AD over Dame. I like AD over LeBron. Oh, whoops. Reeves and D'Lo are just too cheap in my opinion. D'Lo played close to 40 minutes. I believe he had a bad shooting game as well. He had the ball in his decent amount too. Went for 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Played 36 minutes. So he is too cheap. I think he's a really strong play in the mid-range. And I think Austin Reeves is a pretty solid play at 5.6 too. These guys are both just too cheap in my opinion. $600 too cheap. So I really like both the mid-range Lakers guards. How many minutes Wood end with? He barely played. Yeah, 15 minutes. Hard to go there. I'd rather go down to like Paul Reed if I were to play a backup big. And then Taurean Prince, had a phenomenal preseason, had a phenomenal start to the season. I think he's fine for value. I just think he's going to go way over-owned after that first game, but I think he's solid if we're not going to consider ownership. Rui, I think, is playable. If you want a pivot off Prince, Rui would be that guy. Not a standout play, but is playable. And then Gabe Vincent, he barely played, I want to say. Oh no, played 22 minutes. I think he's fine. It's like a dart. All right, best team to target on the slate. It's not close. So Booker, Beal, both doubtful. Kevin Durant to me looks phenomenal. He's gonna have to will this team to a win somehow. Definitely some blowout risk here. But I'm expecting pretty big minutes from him. I'm expecting him to lead the way offensively. I'm expecting him to have the ball in his hands a lot. His floor and ceiling is just insane, especially at this price point. He looks phenomenal to me. I think Nurkic is a pretty good play at 6'1". Good rebounder. He's probably going to have to be second offensively as well. So Nurk, I think, stands out to me at 6'1". And then you have the value. So we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. Goodwin could start. They could just go EG. We'll see. But either way, no matter who starts, I think Eric Gordon is a really good value play. I think Okogie is a really good value play. I think Jordan Goodwin at 3.2 is too cheap. He's going to have to gain minutes. I really like him. Jordan Goodwin is a pretty good producer. And if you give him 20 minutes at 3.2K, he is going to pay off this price easily. So I really like Goodwin. Like I said, I really like Grayson. I really like Eric. I think Okogie's a good value. I think Eric Gordon is my favorite of this Okogie, EG, Grayson Allen grouping. And then Goodwin's kind of there just by himself. But I really like this value for Phoenix tomorrow. And then I think Drew Eubanks is playable. And then Keita Bates-Diop was the DMP. You saw some Yuta, but hard to go to any of those guys. So I hope this video helped you all out. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.